Hey guys, Kevin McPherson here at the Palm Harbor here in Oklahoma City. Hopefully we've got a bunch of people joining us today for our, we're streaming live right here in Oklahoma City in our top selling home, which is our gorgeous Arlington. What we wanted to do, as we had told you earlier in the week, was we get a lot of questions about finance, so we wanted to open up the floor today. I've got someone standing by if you want to start asking questions. We want to give you some information on financing, so a little Q&A this afternoon. So as we're waiting on the questions to come in, and my man Calvin over here is joining us from the factory, and he builds this Arlington, and he's watching to see if anyone has any questions. So first thing though, just want to say happy Good Friday to everybody out there. And second thing, want to make sure that you don't misunderstand this manual right here. This is the same resource manual as you come into the office that all of my associates will use to help find you the perfect loan. So you're the one that picks the loan that meets you and your family's needs. One of our favorite things to do to help customers is do what Grandpa always told you to do when you're trying to make a decision on what the best decision is for you and your family. And that's just make a little spreadsheet. So we'll put, if you're looking at a home-only loan, all the different home-only lenders that fit your needs, draw a line, put the rate there. We've got the rates to show you. No one's making them up. Put the terms, and then you just circle the one that's best for you. So, but before we get started on the Q&A, Calvin, any questions coming in yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before we get started on the Q&A, I promised you earlier in the week that as a lot of you have liked or shared this information, that I would give you, I would pick 2 people to give a $50 gift card. So the first gift card for $50, you'll just want to contact us on Facebook, and I'll send the gift card out to you. It's a cash gift card. It'll say Palm Harbor. You can use it for whatever you want, groceries, gas. You can't pull cash out, but typical gift card. It's going to go to Michelle White. So Michelle White, congratulations on the first gift card. And then I will, as we finish up here, I'll announce the winner of the second gift card. So first thing is, I want to share with everybody, on my website, if you go to, and you're finding us, but on my website, if you go to okc.palmharbor.com, if you've come out on Saturday and we're busy, I'm giving you the site. If you pull that up, you'll see my website, and this is great financing info. But if you hit View All Display Homes, my homes will come up from largest to smallest. When you come out, I have names of all the homes on the house. That way you know what home you're in. But let's just say I'm looking at the list right here, and let's just say that you're in the Arlington like I am right now, and you just click on the Arlington, and all the information to the Arlington will come up. It will also come up, this is the home we're in, with all the pictures in the house. It'll have a price. For instance, you might ask why I chose to do the Q&A video in the Arlington. 1, it's our #1 selling home. 2, the average sales price in the state of Oklahoma is between $75,000 and $80,000. This home, straight onto your property anywhere in the state of Oklahoma for $77,999. So before I came out, I had one of the first questions I had is, hey Kevin, what kind of payment, if I'm just buying the home, what kind of payment can the average guy or gal get on a house with a minimum down payment of 5% down? Well, so as we do this today, let's just say you're on the Arlington, it's got the price, and what I want you to do is if you just hit the tab that says pricing, it'll show you loan amount $77,900. So then what happens is, as I look through my resource manual here, I look to find what would the minimum down payment for someone that's $575 to $599 would be a 5% down payment. So what I did was I'm like, you know, for the average person, what would that payment be? So what you would do is you would just put the term in. Let's say this particular bank will go 23 years. You put that in, and then you put in, remember this is for the average guy You know, we're talking $575, $599. We should be able, through one of our lenders, get you done with 5% down. Now, you, of course, can put more down. The more money you put down, the lower the interest rate gets. But at a minimal down payment, the answer to that question, Calvin, would be $749.70. Okay? But watch this. This is why this Q&A is important, and I want you to have this payment calculator so you don't have to worry about a loan officer or a salesman. You can see what the payment is in your own home. So let's just say that with the same 5% down, Calvin, we've got somebody that has perfect credit. Now, when I say perfect, scales range from 350 to 850. Banks typically stop at their floor rate at a 720 credit score. So I went through my resource manual to find the bank that had the lowest interest rate with 5% down, and the answer is 7% would be the rate. That's a huge difference. That's why credit's important. That's a 3.49% difference. So instead of the payment being $749, let me just exit out of here. Instead of it being $749, how about this? You have a 7% rate because your credit's 720 or better with still 5% down. That payment becomes $569 a month. That's a $210 difference in monthly payment. So again, this calculator is available on every home we have. Heck, you can use it even if it's not for our houses, if you just want to find out what a payment would be. So any questions coming in yet, Calvin? So, okay. Well, so what we'll do is this is the first time we've done the live streaming video, so we're having some problems right now, technical difficulties with the Q&A, with getting the questions. So what we'll do as soon as the video is over, I'll jump on the computer and I'll answer everybody's questions. So, but I've written some really good ones down. So how about, I get this one all the time. What if I have poor credit? Well, everyone's definition of poor credit is different, right? So, but we already know that the minimum down payment, if you want 5%, you're going to have a 575. So what happens if my credit score is below a 575? Well, I have one lender that will help you, and the down payment will range anywhere from 10% to 35%. So what we're saying is, you've got poor credit, and you, Calvin, let's say you have a 500 credit score. That's considered poor credit. If the bureaus range from 350 to 850, 850 being the highest, 350 being the lowest, and someone can get you a new home for at a 500 credit score, that's considered poor credit. Well, my resource manual tells me 10% down, so not 5, but you would need 10, okay? So we can help you. How about this one? I get this one a lot. How about I just filed bankruptcy? Oh, that's a great question. Well, there's a lot of different lenders that they're going to want FHA, VA, those are government loans. They're going to want to see you at least 2 years from bankruptcy. Good credit since then. However, we've got conventional lenders that will approve you right after a bankruptcy, okay? Not a Chapter 13. A Chapter 13, you would have to have permission from your trustee, but most bankruptcies I see
Kevin, I just wanted to let you know real fast, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
We got a question coming in. This young lady is wanting to know if we take trade-ins.
We take trade-ins. We definitely take trade-ins, and the key, we get a couple of those calls a week, Tyler. The key to that question is, what do you owe on your trade-in? Okay, so we're only going to be able to give you what the trade-in is worth. So what we're looking for on trade-ins is we're looking for, a trade-in that is already paid off. If the house is I have a special online. If the home's a 1990 or under, the home's normally paid off. We'll give you at least $5,000 for the home, except for on single-wide homes, because my single-wides I have priced at a very low margin. But on any double-wide, including this one, if you have a 1990 or older, it's probably paid off. I'll give you $5,000. Two things: the home's got to have a title, and it has to be transportable. Now, Tyler, to whoever asked that question, the majority of the people that have a trade-in, they're not necessarily wanting money. They just want the house removed from the property so they don't have to pay for it. So hopefully that answers your question. If you have If you owe a lot on the home, we're just going to have to look at an NADA value to see what the home's worth, okay? So we have 3 wholesalers, and they typically don't get into the $40,000, $50,000 range. They're normally $20,000 or under, okay? So any other questions yet, Tyler?
No, sir, that's
okay.
it.
Great question. So how about, I wrote a couple down here that we get asked a lot. So we talked about bankruptcy. So literally, when you file a Chapter 7, it normally takes 3 months from the time you file to the credit report will say discharge. You can't do anything until it discharges. So 3 months after you file bankruptcy in court, and it says discharge on your credit bureau, we can go ahead and get you approved. And I'm telling you, if 3 months after bankruptcy your credit score is a 575 or better, my book says we can get. My car just got repoed. Can I buy a home? Absolutely. The key is we just need to make sure, you're not going to believe this, but and these are the banks. The key is we need to make sure that we have proof the car has been repoed. Okay, so I know that sounds crazy, but if it's been repoed and you were making a $500 payment, that payment's you're not making anymore, right? So absolutely. And again, this is just credit score based. So even if you have a car repoed, it's gone. We've got proof that it's been repoed. Then let's say your credit score is a 575. We've got a lender that says we could get you bought with 5% down. So foreclosures. Got people that ask about foreclosures. This one is going to depend on the type of loan again. If you do an FHA or VA loan, those are federally backed loans. Rates right now about 4.25. They do have a lot of closing costs, which you don't pay. None of the closing costs in our loans you pay out of your pocket, like on a traditional home. So, and when I say traditional, something that is already built. We're the builder, so when we build a home for you, the closing costs can be rolled in. So, but on the FHA VA side, they're going to 2 years for bankruptcy. They're going to want to see 3 years from the foreclosure date. And that's and guys, I get asked a lot. My home wasn't foreclosed. It was a short sale. That's a foreclosure. Okay, so. Let's say that you had a foreclosure yesterday, Calvin, and it literally says yesterday your home was foreclosed on. If your credit score is a 575 or better, we have a lender that should buy you with 5%. Now, we got 11 or 12 different lenders, so that option won't be available at every lender, but I literally have a lender, they're used nationwide, that will buy anybody a day after foreclosure. I can get anybody bought with this particular lender. You might not like the rate, but what's the credit score? Okay, so are you rolling yet, Calvin, or no? Okay, so any questions coming up yet?
Nope, nothing so far.
Okay, so how about let's talk about there's 3 different types of loans. Let's talk about a conventional loan right now. So a conventional loan, I like to tell people, is buying a home like a car. So it takes a little longer, but you buy a car and you got to prove, where your down payment's coming from. You got a driver's license, social, 2 forms of ID. You got to prove, how much money that you make. So you buy a home conventionally, which is what the majority of our customers do. Then you can literally close in days. Okay, so rates are a little higher conventionally because what that means is, although the home can be sitting on your land or grandpa's land, the home and land aren't combined together. In other words, if the home repos, you still have the land, okay? So that's the difference when you hear conventional or chattel loans. So we have a lot of folks that like to...
Hold on one second, Kev. It sounds like we might be having some difficulties with the... she says she can't hear us for some reason, even though... Looks like our microphone is on, so...
So nobody's been able to hear us at all?
Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. Hey, text Mari and see if he can hear you. Mari's listening to us.
Mari, can you hear me? let's see here, guys. Hang tight. I'm going to make sure that this isn't an issue on our end, so just hang tight, guys. Hang on just a second. We're going to see. It might be issues with somebody, one of the watchers, but let's make sure here. Do you know who made that post?
Same lady that talked about the trade-ins.
So Mari's watching, and he hasn't said he can't hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Come up closer and see if that makes a difference. So, can you hear us now?
Mrs. Wren, can you hear us a little better now? Doesn't appear so. She's not saying anything.
Let me hang on just a second.
Mari just said he hears us. So.
Okay, good. So sorry for the, we're not over here playing with our phones. We're just wanting to make sure that as we're talking, everybody can hear us. So for the young lady that made that post, it might be a difficulty on her end. So we're going to keep rolling. So let's talk about.
She said she can hear us now, boss.
Okay, thank you guys so much. So you can throw anything at us, and we can just keep going.
Trial and error. That's what it's all about.
Bulletproof. So okay, so now let's talk about. We went on. So remember, conventional home only. All that means is you're just buying the home. You're not securing it with property. You're still putting it on property, but you're not securing it. So let's talk about a land and lieu loan. You'll see if you drive up and down Shields, or you're on my website, you'll see, hey, I've got land. Can I get a home with zero down? Sure you can. But what you need to understand, what you're doing is, they call it land in lieu of down payment, because what you're doing is instead of putting, say, 5 or 10 grand down, you're securing that property as an asset. However, what you have to understand is, if it's 5 acres, you've got to bring us a deed with a legal description for that 5 acres. So if Grandpa has 100 and he's going to give you 5, we've got to have a survey for that 5 acres. So the 100 acres will have a different legal description than the 5 acres. But here's what happens. It happens here every day. In-law or somebody gives so-and-so 5 acres to put the home. So you're going to bring us the legal description. There's going to be appraisal done on that property, and based on, let's say you're buying a $100,000 home, and let's say the property appraises for $20,000. Although you're not financing 80, you're still financing 100. The rate that you're going to get in the rate book would be based on a 20% down payment. So, but I do want to caution you, so you understand what's happening. If God forbid something happens and you lose the house, you lose the land too. So we love chattel loans if they'll work for people, because some of this land in Oklahoma people have had, it's been passed down and down. So, but land in lieu of down payment. If you've got land, we can get you approved. Okay. Any other questions coming in?
Not right now, Kevin.
Okay.
We're
excellent.
just rolling. We're just starting to get the watchers rolling in. So.
Excellent. So now that we've talked about land in lieu, and by the way, if you're catching this video, we've been streaming live for a while right here at the Palm Harbor in Oklahoma City. Our website is okc.palmharbor.com, even though you're on the Homes by Tyler. So they're both linked together. If you're just now joining in, we're going to have this video posted on the Homes by Tyler and on the OKC website, so you can go back and watch this thing from the very beginning. Any chance that Miss White has tuned in yet, who won the first gift card?
I can't tell right now if she has or not. But can you go ahead and say her name one more time? That way, if she is.
So don't forget, Michelle White is received the first $50 gift card for liking us and sharing our post, and we still have another one coming that we've already selected. So But again, this video is going to be available for everybody to watch, and as the video ends, if you have questions, you are welcome to email me those questions. I'll be here all day answering questions for you, and you can also certainly call us. So. And
hold on one second, Kev. Yeah, I just wanted to remind all the viewers that our website, you can reach us, and it's down in the bottom left-hand corner, but it's www.okc.palmharbor.com. So if you guys didn't catch some of this video, you guys can view us on there, and also the Homes by Tyler Facebook post.
Outstanding.
Alrighty. Sorry about that, Kev. Go ahead.
All right. So let's go to we're going to talk about we've covered conventional loans, we've covered land and lieu loans, we've covered if you have a bankruptcy, if you have a repo, foreclosure. So if you missed any of that, just go back and watch this. But so let's go into government loans. So we want to talk about FHA and VA loans. You know, love allowing those folks that fight for our country to come in and get a VA loan. It's one of my favorite loans, only because the veterans deserve it, and want you to know that we do offer those. It's a zero down loan. However, no mortgage insurance, which you'll pay mortgage insurance as part of your payment on an FHA loan. But we will require $1,000 down until you close, and then that's for services or ordering title, appraisal. That way, as long as you close, we're not left stranded with those bills. Because say you don't close, we could end up with an appraisal bill, a survey bill, a title bill. So that's what the $1,000 is for. But it is a true zero down loan. We will once the loan funds, then Palm Harbor would give the money back to you. But we've got several lenders that will allow you. Right now, those rates, if you're watching the Central Reserve Bank, right now the rates are on the way up. But right now, we can get, those loans are coming in between 4.25 and 4.75. And the reason that varies is it depends if you're really doing a zero down loan, or some people on an FHA loan actually put cash down. So,
it looks like we've got Rachel Helleman is saying hello to both of us.
Hello, Rachel.
So thank you, Rachel, for watching. We appreciate you.
All right. Does she have any questions, or
Miss Rachel? Do you have any questions for us or anything? It does not appear that she does at this time, but if something comes up, I'll let you know.
Yeah, fantastic. So what was that, a smiley face or something?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so back on the FHA side. So if we do FHA or VA, what we're going to tell you is that we're only going to do those loans if the home is built modular. Okay, so I want to explain that. I can build this same home you're in right now in a modular home. It'll cost you 10 grand more. You're not going to notice a difference aesthetically, but the home's built different. It's going to have more headers in the ceiling. The floor joists are going to be different. The electrical is different. So again, cosmetically you won't notice. But here's what happens. When you do an FHA or VA deal, let's just, for fun, let's say you're buying this home at 77 plus 10 for a mod, so it's at 87. Let's say that this is your piece of property, this island, and let's say that on this piece of property, you've got to have a foundation, you've got to have a pad, you've got to have a gravel driveway or whatever kind, you've got to have an approach to the property where 2 cars can back up, or 2 cars can park, area to back up. We're experts at it, so we'll take care of it. But let's just say that the well, the septic, or even rural, let's say that with all of your improvements to the property, now keep in mind, improvements to a property and home options are different. A well is an improvement. A refrigerator is an option, okay? So let's go back. We're at 87, right, for a mod, and let's just say that the improvements are $30,000 and you own your land, okay? Well, however much money the closing costs are, let's say the closing costs are $15,000 because you're closing 2 different loans. You're not paying that out of your pocket. However, it is rolled into the loan. So, Calvin, you got a calculator?
I do.
All right, so I want you to add up 87,000 plus I want you to add up 30,000, and then I want you to just put in 20, okay, for closing costs, because you're closing 2 loans. So you got to keep in mind on this type of loan, you've got normally 4 payments rolled in there, because once we start developing, we're going to have 120 days to finish, so you're not making a payment if you've ever built a home, or your grandpa built one or mom built one, while they were building it, there was a payment being made for construction interest. So that's part of the closing cost on why the bank's going to tell you what they are. But what's that number, Calvin?
$137,000.
Okay, so let me explain why I want to give you that number. $137,000. So what has to happen is this. This is why this is why we build the home in a mod only if we go FHA or VA. So if I'm the banker and I've got you all approved and now I'm ready to order title, appraisal, and survey, here's what's going to happen when the survey when the appraisal is ordered. Let's say Calvin's the appraiser. I'm going to send Calvin an email saying, Mr. Phillips, I need an appraisal for this property. And this is how many square foot. That appraisal, if we're doing FHA or VA, remember you're putting 0 down. So this is FHA is a 97% loan to value. That means you're putting roughly 3 to 3.5 down. VA is 100% LTV. That's loan to value. Okay. So if the bank's going to give you 100% of the money for the house, the home's got to come in at an appraised value for that. Does that make sense? So going back to the 137, when I order that appraisal, if I'm the banker, which I'm not, and I'm going to need an appraisal to come back for $137,000 for the house. We're selling you an $87,000 home, but in order for you to get all of your improvements, in order for you to get the closing cost included, this home's got appraised for $137,000. It's not going to do that, and I'm going to ask the appraiser, I want 3 comps. Comps are comparables. So you got the value of the home that we're buying, the property, and then that appraiser has to, remember, all we're doing right now is telling you why we're going mod on an FHA or VA instead of HUD. So that appraiser has to give 3 more comparables, typically within a 5 to 20 mile radius, that have closed the last 12 months. So it gets kind of tricky. You start asking yourself, if you live in rural America, wonder how many FHA loans have closed at a 5 to 20 mile radius of my house and was a HUD home, a manufactured home for $137,000. I can already tell you the answer, it's none. Okay? So when we go mod, we learned this trick a decade ago. When we go mod, now when I'm asking for those 3 comparables from the appraiser, now what's happening is you don't have to look for manufactured home comps. You can look for site-built comps, stick and brick comps. I call site-built stick and brick. An old farm home that has rock siding on it. And then you start asking yourself, if you're doing it right now, I wonder how many homes in a 5 to 20 mile radius of my property, and they can go further, but the further they go, the underwriter gets a hold of the appraiser and marks it down. So, but then you start asking yourself, well, if they can use comparables for site-built, stick and brick farm homes, how many have closed in the last 12 months? The answer is a lot. So that's why we're going to. That is what happens when you buy from Palm Harbor in Oklahoma City. My office manager has been with me 14 years. I've been here 20. We know how to get the money for you, and we know how these programs work. And this book right here this book tells us everything that we need to know. But the key is we know how to open the door to get the money for you. We're not going to waste your time. I promise you that when you shop the Palm Harbor here in Oklahoma City. So do we have any other questions?
Looks like Paul Rogers just sent in a question.
Okay.
Let's see what he's saying. Looks like something along the lines of, will all the improvements in the property be covered? I'm guessing probably something along the lines of in the property of the loan, or included in the loan, I'm guessing. Paul, is that what you were saying? For all the improvements to be covered in the loan itself?
Well, it's okay if you don't reply, because that is a great question. Now, if the deal goes FHA or VA, then as the builder...
That's what he was saying.
Okay, as a builder, I have to sign a government document called a builder cert. So I can only sign that document. What I'm signing is that everything was put into code, which an FHA inspector is going to inspect, take pictures that it was done. So the answer to that question is yes. All of the improvements, we're going to bid it to meet FHA code, but sometimes we have people that want extra stuff. So the answer to that question is yes. But let's go backwards to for Paul, and let's say it's a land in lieu loan. In other words, it's not FHA or VA, but it's a land in lieu loan. Again, yes, the improvements will be. I had a customer recently, and it depends on the credit score. You know, if you're at a 600 and you're doing a land in lieu loan, the bank's not going to let you put a $30,000 garage up. However, I had a customer recently that had a 700 credit score, and we put roughly $70,000 in improvements on this property. We put a shop on it, foundation, pad, a generator, in case, you know, so that's all credit score driven on what they will allow you. They'll all give you the essentials that you need, but we're talking extras, porches, garages, shops, things like that. So now, you're not going to believe this one. We do this one a lot. This is where the experience factor comes in. If you're doing a conventional loan, that's a home-only loan. You're buying this $77,000 Arlington just like this, and you're like, okay, you know, if I put 10% down, I can get a lower rate. But if I put 20% down, I can get a lower rate. But that's not going to leave me money for the pad or the foundation, because I want that, or for the little deck I want. Well, guess what? So what you do is we can still do a conventional loan, and there's, depending on the credit score, there's a number the bank gives us of how much improvements we can finance into the deal. So instead of you using that money for foundation and pad, we include that in the loan, get you approved for it, and then you can utilize that money that you were going to use for that to put down on the home to get a lower interest rate. So all we want to do is sell you a home, put you in the best loan that fits you and your family's needs, and you send me a referral, and that way I can sell them a home. So any other questions before we shut this back down today? Or
no, everything, that's all the questions. We ended up having 10 comments so far on this. We've got a few watchers so far, so definitely not bad for our first time.
Yeah, and we'll actually have this posted as well, so I know we're going to have a lot of people that are watching.
Looks like Michael Matthews from Titan just joined. Hey, Michael.
What's up, Michael? Hopefully we can teach you guys some things over there. So we appreciate you joining us. And anything else? So Calvin, why don't you come over? You got a second?
I do.
Yeah, so Calvin, while we're streaming here, we're way ahead of schedule. So Calvin's my good friend here. He builds all of the homes at the Palm Harbor Fort Worth factory, so he doesn't actually put the hammer in. He probably could, but as we're salespeople, we deal with this guy as a salesperson, so he represents the Fort Worth Palm Harbor factory. And Calvin, we appreciate about 80% of the homes that we build come out of Calvin's factory. So in other words, if you want to order a home from us, we're going to send your information. Like, say you want this home, we're going to fill out a piece of paper and say you want all texture, and say you want a stainless steel package, and say you want to move something. We're sending that information to him. He's going to spec it out for us. He's going to get it signed off on. So, but Calvin, we're in your home. It's the top seller home at Fort Worth and for Palm Harbor.
Hey, Kevin, sorry to interrupt. Mr. Rogers, he's loving this home right now. He asked, what model is this? Guys, this is our Arlington. This is a 30 by 52. That's 1,560 square feet. And Calvin, Miss Laretha Scott says hello.
Oh,
yes.
Very nice.
But no, so you guys can check this house and more online at www.okc.palmharbor.com. And sorry about that, guys. Go ahead.
So, Calvin, I was going to ask you, is there anything, since we have you out here today, I know this is a Q&A about finance, but is there anything that you want to tell the folks about, about your factory, why you guys sell so many homes in the state, or I don't know, maybe you don't have anything to say.
I do have a couple things to say about the Arlington in particular, and a lot of our floor plans, we have family of plans. This is a 52-foot home. It also comes in a 48-foot, a 60-foot, a 58-foot. You can get 3 bathrooms in this home. So we've got some options if this home is too much or too little home for them. Mm-hmm. They can stay in the same beautiful kitchen, but in a smaller or larger version of the exact same home. Makes it really simple to shop. You don't have to stock 12 of our homes.
Right.
You've got one. And by the way, what you were saying earlier, all that about how many homes he sells, that's why Oklahoma City is our #1 dealer out of Fort Worth, Palm Harbor, and we appreciate it very much.
No, you're welcome, my man. So, anyway, we appreciate everybody joining us today. We've got 22 homes here at the sales center. If you go shopping tomorrow and people on Shields are trying to ask you a million questions and you know, they want to pull your credit, and I mean, you know, you got to start by just looking to find out if it's something you want. So just know that my homes are open 6 days a week, folks. We'll be happy to go back to the office, find out what you're looking for. But if you just want to look around before you know, we find out, you know, what the credit score is. A lot of these dealers on Shields, I hear it every day. Customers come running over. They were trying to interrogate me. They were trying to pull my credit. They wanted to, heck, one of the guys threw me keys. So if you want someone, a professional to help you, if you want to walk through the houses, every morning I open the houses up. They're unlocked. They're not at night though, okay? They are secure. So we will open the homes up every morning, and they will be open for you to walk around, look. We will ask you if you want us to go with you or if you want to go by yourself. So, are you coming over, big man?
I was just gonna say.
So we can't do anything on Homes by Tyler without Tyler himself.
I've got to
right?
be here myself, absolutely. But no, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching today, taking the time out of your busy schedules. Thank you to Kevin for being able to be available to answer those questions. We're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. You have one
You got a question?
Paul's wanting to know who won the second gift card.
Oh, right here. You want to tell everybody?
Absolutely. So congratulations to Miss Becky Birch. You are the winner of our second $50 gift card. Paul, thank you so much for reminding us. And thank
you weren't
so
going to
much
forget, were you?
Oh no, of course not.
But Paul, thank you. You're on the ball.
But again, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We'd love to earn your guys' business. And thank you so much for watching us today. And we look forward to seeing you and hearing more of your questions in future videos. Thank you guys so much.